All right, this is going to be Lazy with a Kyrian. Trying to go for the big Kyrian burst. Fang is going to be up next. It looks like it's only 4 man over in Team 2 with Chill Pills. Hopefully +1 is just lagging. And then they'll get in here soon enough. Lazy with the Berserk. This is actually going to back away from Fang, who just uses a lot of his defenses, but not offenses. Still has a lot of damage. Ready. Go. Does go for a weapon throw, so Lazy does not get a reset behind the pillar. Dude, Xander's combat animations are clean. Look at them, dude. They're agile as hell. Gonna be back-to-back charges after Lazy. Lazy trying to see if they can break the line of sight behind the pillar. As Fang does activate Reckless Abandon, those raging blows become crushing blows that give you a little bit of a charge towards the enemy target. Lazy Cat looking for a bit of a reset, waiting out for that banner. That is a lot of potential damage for the warrior. Is going to be able to AoE the Feral out with them whirlwinds. I think Lazy Cat was not quite careful with the whirlwinds. That's going to be Thorns. Fang knows he doesn't really want to fight a Feral with Thorns. Going to be a main, no way out. Actual Trinket, but could potentially go for Fear. Does he have a Fear? Going to leap away. That's going to be a lot of damage. Flesh Cut, and that's going to be Lazy trying to go for the interrupt, but the Flesh Cut has been established. And some of the Flesh Cut is going to burn off some of the bites, some of the bleeds. Fang might be able to get himself some resources back. Bladestorm not playing with a Torment the King's Legendary though, so that's interesting. He's going to use a lot of the rage to offset it into a shield in order to give himself a little bit more of a self-heal. Waddling towards the eye, has himself Reckless Abandon or Reckless Enraged Regeneration back up in case he wants to use it. Fang could be an interesting spot. Does get himself yet another shield, burning a lot of the rage into those shields. Which those shields are a little bit less expensive, aren't they? Maybe looking for a reset. In fact, just needs to make sure that the Feral does not get a reset. It's going to be a Shadow Meld either way. It literally doesn't matter. As Lazy Cat is like, I'm going to give him a bleed. I'm going to give him a stun one way or another. Main Much Fang is going to get a little bit of self-heal. Fear Words, if anything, got him some plenty of survivability. Enraged Regeneration getting used with a Reflect in case his roots by Lazy. So Fang is at least able to recover his health. Took a lot of blaze damage from Lazy. This is going to be big crushing blows. Going to be a Blaze Storm trying to see if he can break away from the root. Potentially could maybe go for a line of sight. Break a line of sight. Charges towards Lazy. Maybe more crushing blows. Trying to hit him with a slow. Crushing blows might be able to get him close enough. Oh no, I feel like if he used a crushing blow instead of a throw weapon, I feel like he would have been able to catch up to Lazy. But that's going to be that Recklessness that Lazy thinks is going to treat like the most deadly ability, because it really is. The crushing blows do a lot of damage, especially when they land a crit. And Lazy getting caught on low. Bear form could potentially get out of there. Does Fang have a way to go? I think Lazy is saving a root for Fang in case he goes in for big damage. Maim onto Fang, trying to go for big dam on him. Going to be in Enraged Regeneration. Most likely going to be a root for Lazy in case Fang gets around the corner. And this way the warrior really wants to unleash some damage and get some healing off of the Feral if at all possible. Really needs to pull him away from any kind of pillar. Going to be the Thorns with a quick Fear onto the cat. He knows he doesn't really want to Trinket this. But then again, Fang doesn't really have a lot of CC. He doesn't really have a lot of abilities that you can Trinket. So honestly, Trinketing Fear is not the worst idea at this point, since that's literally his only CC that he's running. Man's not running Stormbolt or anything. Gonna be a big banner, big burst. Gonna be a maim onto Fang. Does have a root in case. Gonna be that Ursul's is gonna keep him in place though. Needs to break that Ursul's and needs to find a way to catch up to the cat, but literally cannot. Oh my goodness. Literally shut down on his burst. Lazy's playing it super slow, super steady, just trying to whittle away the warrior, but definitely trying to remove any kind of burst out of the warrior as best as they can. Got himself the stun. Potentially some bleeds. Man, one day maybe the warrior will be able to get the full burst on the Feral, because the amount of damage he got with the Thor, with a banner, with everything, it could be huge. Lazy trying to go for a big old Kyrian bite. Flesh Cut up. No interrupt for Lazy. That's going to be a big recovery for Fang. Big bite to blast right through the Flesh Cut into the health bar, however. It's going to set Fang back a little bit. It's going to have to be a little bit more careful with his health. Does have big defenses coming back up though. 6 minutes in the duel. That's going to be yet another Enraged Regeneration scene out of Fang though. Man, so far it doesn't really look like Lazy has enough damage to really do much to Fang. And it doesn't really look like Fang just has enough mobility to catch up to Lazy. Those pillars are just way too good. Between Ursul's, between Roots, and between the Sprint and Shadow Meld, like he can just get away from the Warrior Burst. Just run away from it. Fang taking a bit of damage. Lazy actually finds some burst. Wait a second. I think that was the burst his Lazy has done with a bite with a Kyrian. Gonna be Chillpus trying to make some damage happen. Stun to Lazy. No Trinket out of it. Gonna be the big grippy hand. Chillpus just looking to slam down through the Feral completely. And Necrobits and I think everybody else in that team are going by to pay respects to the warrior. They just watch that man get kited in circles by Feral and they're like, oh no, you know what? I feel your struggle, my guy. I feel your troubles, my man. I know how tough it can be. Revan's trying to go for a bit of an immolation onto Chill Pills. Mortal Coil getting set up. Man, that warrior has a lot of damage. It's just the matchup. It might be one of the worst. That Feral Druid can just run out of the way from you. Chill Pills with a Flesh Cap, trying to go for Chain of Ice into Reverence as Reflect is up. Yoinking the Warlock back in. Warlock is playing the normal trinket, so it's going to be no resolve shenanigans. Interrupt that fear. Chaos Bolts is going to fly through. Chill Pills might be in big trouble. Potentially could heal a lot with those Chaos Bolts. Going to be Decimated Bolt get set up. Can't really do much about it. Flesh Cat up for Reverence. Chill Pills just backing up out of that completely. Might just go for some resource building off of the Succubus. And Reverence is just looking to stay away from Chill Pills for a bit. Succubus Seduction. Oh, wait. He kind of got caught in the corner. Lynchborn, that picks like around the pillar. It kind of just stopped him in place. That was interesting. Lynchborn out of it. Going to be a big port for Reverence. Potentially a big grip for Chill Pills. Doesn't have the grip, but it's going to be a stun from the Infernal. Going to be big Incinerates. Chill Pills taking a lot of damage. It's going to have to go for a lot of self-healing. Dark Pact is up for Reverence, but the silence doesn't even stop it. Chill Pills actually under a ton of pressure. Chaos Bolt, I think it might be over. Trying to get as much self-healing as he can from the Succubus Sphere by Reverence. Chill Pills having to go for the Death Bag, but again, no health whatsoever. Oh, that Infernal might just take it down, trying to see if he can fight through the, and the Necrotics, but he can't quite do it. That Death Pack is just way too deadly. Man, that is harsh. That is harsh. Necrobus is going to be up next. Hopefully this man can play. Dude, somebody's going to have to really pull out all the stops and play with one-man army. The warrior played the best he could. Playing against the Feral is tough. Triple slapping the Feral down. Big Necrolord burst, but Reverend's got plenty more damage than that. And Necrobus might be the guy. Might have to be the man to just pop wings and eradicate the rest of the team one, just so everybody on that team gets a chance to play. Everybody from Rand to Aerolith and Seavark. And Reverend's just going to kite out. Necrobus could go for the, could switch out his aura and go for like a little bit more dam. Did it just reflect a hammer at yourself? Mortal Coil into Necrobus. Does get the stun into Reverence. Could potentially be big damage. The Succubus CC stops it in place. For Necrobus, he already used the Trinket. Literally just forces to stand and look at Reverence. He's about to blast him with a Shield of Vengeance. It's going to be Shield blasted through. Necrobus potentially cause some damage. Reverence taking a big hits. Back to back big hits. Wait a second. Massive hammer from afar. Oh, I think a Judgment might do it. And that's going to be a hammer or a rack. And Necrobus just take him out. The big wings of a Paladin. Taking him out with Seavark, trying to see if he might be able to get himself a setup of his own. Necrobus is going to have to find a way to beat Seavark so that the rest of the team won't get a chance to play. But the wings, he did plenty of damage to Reverence. I am still amazed just how far the Templar's Verdict can hit you from because of that legendary. I think he did start the Templar's Verdict as Reverence was mid-air, but it just looked like he got hit from like a 40-yard range with that spell, doesn't it? Gonna be a Nova by Seavark, blinking out of the Mirrors of Torment playstyle, but blinking out of that stun. As Necrobus is trying to get himself a little bit of recovery, eventually those Mirrors of Torment are gonna overpower him and silence him in place. Root him in place, silence him so he's unable to kill himself, unable to do much. There goes that silence. Not much you can do. Massive arcade barrages, big bubble out of Necrobus, seeing the big burst out of Seavark, deciding, you know what, I cannot deal with this damage. I need to respond. Seavark with a temporal, trying to make sure there's some line of sight. Necrobus still get a barrage of misses. Is it gonna be over? Flash cut the last second just to get himself alive. Gonna be an intro by Seavark, stun onto the mage. Does have a normal human racial. Gonna be massive barrages that does take him out. Oh my goodness. XBD doesn't quite start on the other side of the pillar, but he does start next to Seavark. Seavark is going to be able to find him. So the rogue at least started at an entrance, at a start, I guess. But not exactly where Seavark thought he was going to be. Stun into Seavark, going to be the ult of time. Seavark, whatever damage he takes, unless the rogue can just one-shot him in the opener here. I think it might not be able to. No intro by the rogue just yet. He's going to wait for the ult of time. Let's see if the rogue is stuck out in the open. Rogue just building up for common points from a distance. Maybe the rogue is just waiting for another C reset. Potentially. Seavark just got himself lots of Mirrors of Torment dam. Potentially. Got himself a lot of procs, but it looks of it. Cloak of Shadows by XBD. Mirrors of Torment removed completely. All that damage out of the window, but Seavark at least didn't pop the most amount of cooldowns here. It does have Arcane Power coming up a little bit later. Just trying to blast out of the rogue. Missiles coming through. That's going to be Shadow Step with an intro by the rogue. It's going to be XBD trying to see if he can prevent the Resolve Trick. And I think he went for a cheap shot trying to stop Seavark, but the Resolve Trick is going to give him that immunity. The Seavark does at least get to disconnect. Seavark needs a bit of momentum. If he wants to look for procs, he definitely needs a bit of mana. Rogue does dive into stealth. It looks like the Rogue just got hit with a barrage, but still caught himself a re-stealth. How does that work? Arcane Orb does get him out in the open. Evocation for Seaver because he's trying to catch up on mana. He's just trying to burn that mana to fish out for procs with missiles. If we can get another setup on the Rogue does have a trinket though, so most likely not going to be able to sit that next polymorph. But if you can maybe just find him out in the open, then with a poly resolve trinket, oh, resonant trinket, I mean. A blink by Seavark as he gets hit with a stun, trying to do the very best he could. Eventually, that is going to be a resolve trinket, going to give him immunity. Just trying to go for as many procs versus XBD. Missiles to flying. Rogue doesn't actually need to trinket if he's not sitting in any kind of CC. Seavark with the ult to time. Rogue with the vanish. Seavark could potentially still find him. Still holding onto the ice block in case things really go rough. The Rogue open it back up, trying to be aggressive here. Mark for death, ready to go. Potentially has something for Seavark, maybe a full kidney shot. Seavark with the images, trying to get some slows into XBD, just trying to arcane explosion just to get some procs. Trying to see if Door Shadows around the corner. Mirrors the Torment get it set up on Rogue, couldn't quite do it. Blind onto the mage, and XBD is still getting pelted at least by one of those mirror images. But I think the mirror images will eventually disappear. Rogue looks like might be able to get himself a proper reset. Arcane Orb on one end. Let's see if we're trying to see if he can catch up a little bit of food. Nova, as he expected, the Rogue just walk out on it randomly. Man, there's the mage sense is like, I know Rogue is nearby. It's like that paranoid sense is tingling in the back of your head. Poly onto the Rogue, could trinket out of it. Gonna be trinket a little bit late, but does use it anyway. Cloak in case he wants to use it. Gonna show to see if it has a blink for it. Gonna be immune to CC for a second. Rogue is gonna go for cheap shots back to back just to get some sort of CC back to the mage. It's gonna be Mirrors the Torment. Rune in place. Big damage. Seavark is interrupted. Oh, he just blasted the Rogue out. Literally yawning because it was that easy, man. Oh my god, he got an uninterruptible burst there and just melted that Rogue with a full burst. That was crazy good. Oh my god, he literally couldn't get interrupted. The resolve trick gave him like immunity to interrupts. That was incredible.